Welcome to Basketball Cinema, where we revisit the most important and iconic games in NBA history. I'm Jay Canada, and today we're looking at a 2006 regular season matchup between the Cleveland Cavaliers and Miami Heat. The 2003 NBA draft has gone down as one, if not the greatest single draft class in NBA history. It's not hard to see why, as 4 of the first 5 picks would go on to be bona fide all-stars, and each will most likely be a Hall of Famer when all is said and done. Of course, the 2 most prominent of those selections were LeBron James 1st overall to Cleveland and Dwyane Wade 5th to Miami. I'm sure I'm not spoiling anything for hoops fans out there when I tell you that LeBron and D Wade would have a lot of history go down together. But before the not 1, not 2, not 3 era of their careers, both were on a mission to bring relevance to the franchises who drafted them in 2003. Today we're taking a look at a game from the formative era of both LeBron James and Dwyane Wade's career. Both players in their 3rd season in the league, both had a similar trajectory in terms of individual success and appeal, but each at a very different point in terms of their respective team success. Individually by year 3, here's how both players stacked up. LeBron had won Rookie of the Year, was a 2-time All-Star, was on his way to a 2nd All-NBA nod, and was on his way to a 3rd Top 10 MVP finish. Meanwhile, D Wade had also been an All-Star twice over, was also on his way to a 2nd All-NBA nod, was on his way to a 2nd Top 10 MVP finish, and had an all-defensive nomination on his resume. The too long didn't read version of all that, both dudes had blistering success out the gates. As mentioned, however, the 2 men were drafted into very different situations. LeBron was currently playing under Mike Brown, his 3rd head coach in as many seasons, as well under Danny Ferry, who was newly appointed GM of the Cavs in 2006. The Cavs roster was a mismatch of capable veterans such as Zydrunas Ilgauskas, Eric Snow, Donyell Marshall, and Damon Jones, as well as some injury-prone pieces supposed to take the scoring burden off LeBron, like Ronald Flip Murray and Larry Hughes. This isn't the worst supporting cast I've ever seen, or LeBron would ever see for that matter, but it was missing something important, another truly reliable contributor. At the time of the game we're about to watch, Cleveland was 42-29, on their way to making the playoffs for the first time in LeBron's career.
Really disappointed, but I got to take my bumps and bruises just like everybody else, to finally get to the playoffs, and I'm going to be here very soon.
And he would never miss the playoffs again. Except for that one season in LA. Wade, on the other hand, found himself in Miami, where he made the playoffs in his rookie year as part of a nice trifecta with Lamar Odom and Eddie Jones. Prior to his 2nd season, part GM, part wizard Pat Riley made a big trade. I'm talking like size big, it was huge, as the Heat acquired Shaquille O'Neal from the LA Lakers. Shaq was just beginning his descent from Prime Mountain, and his first order of business in Miami?
I said, tomorrow when I go to the press conference, it's your team. I'm gonna follow you. I'm gonna be your consultant. I'm gonna be your consigliere. You're the godfather. I'm the top lawyer. We work together.
Shaq already has the longest string of nicknames in NBA history, but I think we should add Tom Hagen to that list. Along with Shaq, Wade and the Heat made the conference finals in 2005, and were on their way to the postseason again in 2006, sporting a 48-24 record at the time of this game. Last thing I'll mention before we get into the action. In 3 prior meetings with Cleveland in the 05-06 season, Dwyane Wade was averaging 31 points, 6 rebounds, and 7 assists, while LeBron had dropped 39, 6, and 7 in those contests, so yeah, I think these two kind of took this matchup personally. What kind of damage could the King and the Don do in this one? Let's find out together. Some flat out devastating news for all of us, as Shaquille O'Neal didn't end up playing in this game due to a knee injury, which means I don't get to make Godfather references all video like I had hoped. Why do you hurt me, Michael? Miami was also without Alonzo Mourning and James Posey, while the Cavs were missing Larry Hughes. First shot of the game went to Dwyane Wade, who bricked from the mid-range and hold up, listen to this, guys.
Wade is going to launch right away.
Oh no, baby. Why is that rim so loud? First basket of the game actually went to a name I haven't mentioned yet in this video, Udonis Haslem. Meanwhile, for the Cavs, it was Drew Gooden picking up some loose change and hammering it home. The first wacky sequence of the game involving both Wade and LeBron, as Dwyane blocked an Eric Snow floater in transition, but James was able to put it right back. Holy crap. LeBron was athletic in 2006. Watch him casually soar for the defensive rebound, airwalk up court in transition, and nearly convert a tough and one. Man, I'm geeking out over here. Dwyane Wade has always had a super diverse bag. Look at him take Eric Snow into the post, draining the hook shot for his first hoop of the game. Okay, hold on. This is actually the first wow LeBron moment.
Now the Cavaliers are first out. LeBron saves, rising high, coming out of the attic.
know, the finish, alley-oop was cool, but that was Drew Gooden of all people with the lob. Where LeBron was out to excite, Wade was on his old man dominating at the Y vibe, with another make out of the post over Snow. In transition for the Heat, Haslam finishing a drop-off from Wade. LeBron's jumper was way off early, missing one from the free throw line, and another came up way short on a pull-up moving right. Sandwiched between those bricks from LeBron, D Wade with another nifty move off a pump fake. Dwyane had 5 assists in the first quarter, spoon-feeding Udonis for another basket. Young LeBron was an absolute handful, originally getting slowed in transition, but wouldn't be deterred as he spun off Wade and eventually finished plus the harm. Bron wasn't shy despite his jumper being broken early on. A deep 3 was off. Next possession down, however, his passing, well, was very not broken.
LeBron gave it up. Jones for 3. Bang! David Jones smashing that tray.
Okay, Cavs broadcaster Michael Ray guy, I see you with that bang. Proud member of the NBA's all-name team, Ronald Flip Murray connected on a corner 3, but Dwyane Wade was a man on a mission.
Dwyane Wade covered it up like a running back and won.
That wasn't great defense, Flip. Wade finished the first with 9 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, while LeBron was sporting a 12-5-1 line after that hang-and-hit floating jumper. Something truly mesmerizing about LeBron James, which love him or hate him, I believe you have to respect, is that from day one in his career, he's been the center of attention. Actually, before day one even, when he was still a youngster in high school, his career was already under the microscope. I personally think it's insane to insinuate that LeBron hasn't lived up to the hype, but I know there's some people who believe that. And to those people, I'd say, think how easy it could have been for him to completely crash and burn early in his career under the pressure. LeBron was tagged as a future face of the league to a point where he knew it, acknowledged it, and even embraced it.
I've always wanted to be the leader. I've always wanted what everybody else didn't want. So, you know, when things is placed upon me, it's another challenge. If that's the label they're gonna give me and they want me to, you know, to carry the torch to the league, I have no problem doing that.
The man fulfilled his destiny and then some. A flurry of offense to start the second quarter. Shandon Anderson with a wide open midi from old man Gary Payton. Zydrunas Ilgauskas summoning Hakeem the Dream with a spin and finish. Wade with an explosive glide and drive baseline. LeBron opting for the I'm much stronger than you finish inside. Shandon Anderson a 3-ball from the corner, and LeBron, well, I'm not really sure how to describe this finish. It was really good. Yeah. Bron had sat out for 2 minutes exactly in the second quarter, and when he returned, yeah, that would be another and one finish with ease. Another converted free throw too. The aforementioned elderly fella, Gary Payton, finishing inside for 2 of his 6 on the game. I never mentioned who was coaching the Heat in the intro because it's a bit of a wild saga. Pat Riley had stepped down as Heat head coach after the 2003 season, remaining as president of the team, allowing longtime assistant coach Stan Van Gundy to take over. Van Gundy coached the Heat for 2 seasons, including to the conference finals in 2005. But as the Heat became a contender, it was speculated that Riley wanted to return as head coach. Mysteriously, just 21 games into the 06 season, Van Gundy stepped down and Pat Riley took the reins once again. Man, we all know who the true godfather in Miami was, and is. Regardless, a coach with the pedigree of Riley was pivotal in Wade and the Heat's development.
You know, you hear a lot of things about Coach Riley, you know, about how tough he was. And I know we had a lot of old guys on our team, you know, Gary and Alonzo. And I didn't know, but you know what? I was excited about, you know, the chance to be coached under one of the greatest coaches to ever do it. And so we just all came in and did what he told us to do. And
Wade casually able to muscle his way into the middle of the paint, shed a defender, and drop in another 2 with just under 3 minutes left in the half. To answer, Eric Snow connecting on a deep 2 after a wild flailing assist from LeBron along the baseline. D Wade decided to fill it up to close the half, finally sticking a perimeter jumper from 22 feet out. Shortly thereafter, he was able to turn the corner and draw free throws, both he connected on, and he was able to pull up from 12 feet on a slick banker. Heat led by 9 at the break. With 1 half down, LeBron and Wade were both doing a bit of everything for their teams. LBJ had 19-7-2, Wade with 19-5-7. I was more curious in comparing the style of play from the two, however. Neither was threatening at this point from the perimeter, while both were essentially unstoppable when attacking the rim. The way in which they did so was so different, however. Best way I can describe LeBron's method of attack is bouncy, almost angry, while Wade appeared much smoother and calculated. I'll do my best to show y'all examples of what I mean throughout this video, and know that I'm not criticizing either star. It's just wild how similar yet vastly unique their games were. The third quarter would belong mostly to LeBron James. A snap pass cross court would result in a Flip Murray midi. LeBron then finished at the rim after sealing a defender perfectly in transition. Flip Murray then airballed a mid-range jumper. He airballed a mid-range jumper. Wade checked in with a drop-off dime over to Michael Doliak on the J. He then crushed a jumper of his own from the wing for two. LeBron assisting to Drew Gooden, who smacked one from the top of the key. He dropped another dime as Big Z was able to finish, plus the foul as Wade tried to take charge. Wade would knock down a pair of freebies to give him 23 on the game, but over the course of a few Cavs offensive sets, LeBron would go 4 for 4 from the stripe to bring Cleveland back to within 6. Hold on, y'all. I got some math to do. Just watch this clip.
That was maybe on the rise.
James will attack the bucket and look.
Okay, math done, and that was LeBron's third and one of this game already. Yes, okay, I needed a second to count to 3. After an Antoine Walker finish in traffic, LeBron answered for the Cavs with a beautiful under-the-basket baseline cram. Shortly thereafter, Braun with a picture-perfect dish to a rolling Anderson Varejao for the flush. By the way, LeBron was 21 years old at this point, yet he already had ridiculous court vision. It's as if he was a synthezoid made completely of vibranium or something like that. Fourth quarter spoiler alert, this game really went crazy at this point, specifically LeBron and Wade, as LBJ turned the corner and finished unimpeded at the rim. Somehow D Wade was able to corral an offensive rebound and from a standing position throw it down rather viciously. As the Cavs slipped into a 2-3 zone, Dwyane Wade unleashed his first deep attempt of the game, and of course it was money from the left corner. Not to be outdone a little, anything you can do I can do better, as LeBron with a rainbow triple of his own off a dribble pull-up moving left. Sharpshooter Damon Jones with his second deep connection of the game in transition, stealing all the momentum for Cleveland until
Wade gave it up, Payton for 3. Marshall will board. Wade stole it. Dwyane Wade that threw it down.
I'm sorry. That was a ridiculous sequence from Wade. He knocked loose a lazy rebound attempt from Donyell Marshall and recovered the ball along the baseline. Then he elevated off a simple hop step under the rim for a dunk finish. I mean, he was literally moving like an NBA 2K glitch. Oh, by the way though, yeah, the rest of that sequence right after the Wade finish.
James deep 3. Go! This is unbelievable!
LeBron with an epic answer to Wade's epic answer to LeBron's epic. Anyways, you get the picture. This was a battle. With the game now tied, Wade stared down LeBron in a one-on-one situation and simply blew past him for the finger roll finish. Shandon Anderson a big-time triple for the Heat from the corner, a 5-point lead once again for Miami. LeBron exploded to the rim, ready to detonate. Unfortunately, he was fouled. However, he did knock down both freebies to give him 39 on the game. But Dwyane Wade on the other end, guys, just watch this finish.
40 plus. Wade got the corner turn. It's gonna drop. And Zydrunas fouled him.
I mean, his body was facing the other way. Like, he was facing away from the rim. How? For everything we discussed about LeBron and the way he embraced the ginormous spotlight that was cast on him from a young age, Dwyane Wade is really an interesting player to hold up in contrast to that. Wade wasn't a highly touted high school star like LeBron. He was only recruited by 3 NCAA schools before settling on Marquette. He was only taken 5th overall despite being an all-time great. It's not surprising to hear that even at this time, D Wade recognized his lot in life and how expectations played a positive role in his career.
You know, when you're always behind people, you can work that much harder until you hopefully catch them. And I've been behind LeBron and Carmelo, you know, since we came in, and them guys pushed me. So I thank them guys for coming in when I did, because they pushed me to get better and better and better.
Less pressure than LeBron and Melo, but more success out the gates. I'm fairly confident there's a correlation there. Damon Jones was clutch for the Cavs here in the fourth. His third 3 of the game, second here in the fourth quarter. After missing a 3 of his own on the next possession, Dwyane Wade regained possession and sliced into the paint once again with another mind-bending finish through traffic. Both stars carrying their respective clubs at this point in the fourth. LeBron took the challenge of guarding Wade head-on and was successful in forcing Wade to give it up. Varejao a timely tip-in for the Cavs, LeBron once again putting the clamps on Wade from the mid-range, and Donyell Marshall tied the game up at 92. You knew Flash wouldn't be slowed for long. Another blow by zooming past LeBron, an acrobatic finish of the highest order with his right hand. Damon Jones one more time for the Cavs, another massive shot from the land beyond to give them the lead, but Dwyane Wade. Reasonable defense from LeBron, this time Wade finishing on the floater from the paint. James was so clearly taking this matchup personally.
May have to. LeBron to raise up. Oh, whoa. James to answer Wade. He's got 41.
Worst shot in basketball though from King James, as he did have a toe on the line. Damon Jones finally missed from the outside, but watch LeBron on this defensive possession. From a help position, he was able to collapse on Wade to force a turnover. On the other end, LeBron took a feed in the paint and easily finished in transition. But Dwyane Wade.
Rajon couldn't stop Wade. James fouled him and won for Dwyane Wade.
This game was legitimately on drugs, one or maybe more. What a street fight, man. With the game back tied up just over a minute remaining, LeBron played bully ball, sending Shandon Anderson flying, finishing with a kiss off glass. Wade wanted the answer, getting a beautiful look from the elbow, but was unable to make it count. You know who did make it count in the clutch though?
James to the hole, gave it up. Marshall for three. Goes. LeBron's got an offensive board. Yes. Marshall to hammer it down.
Remember what I said about young LeBron's vision? That boy was special. As per usual in the clutch, LeBron electing to make the right play even if that meant not shooting the rock himself. He somehow found Donyell Marshall in the corner with a naked look from three, grabbed the offensive board after a miss, and dealt back to Donyell in the perfect spot. And my apologies to all Heat and Dwyane Wade fans, but this battle did in fact go the way of LeBron and the Cavaliers. Despite a heroic performance from D Wade, who posted 44 points, 8 rebounds, and 9 assists, it wasn't quite enough to overcome LeBron James and his 47 points, 12 rebounds, and 9 assists. That game was legitimately so much fun to watch. As I've alluded to throughout the video, following this epic battle between LeBron and D Wade, the rest of the 2006 season would play out much differently for the Cavs and the Heat. LeBron advanced to the playoffs for the first time in his career, and in a performance I'm sure we'll visit at some point on this channel, notched a triple-double in his playoff debut against Washington. The Cavs would beat the Wiz in 6 games, but fell short in an admirable 7-game battle in round 2 against the Detroit Pistons. Without going too far down the road, this would set off a string of playoff letdown for LeBron and the Cavs, and I think we remember what he would eventually decide to do. Meanwhile, for Wade and the Heat, well, all they did over the ensuing 2 months was beat the Chicago Bulls in 6 games, the New Jersey Nets in 5, the Detroit Pistons in 6, and the Dallas Mavericks in the NBA Finals to claim the championship, the first of 3 for Dwyane Wade and the last of 4 for Shaquille O'Neal. I'm also quite confident we'll visit the 2006 championship winning Heat in the future here on the channel. But for now, I'll say it's truly amazing that a roster constructed mostly of veterans who were past their prime, in addition to one young superstar, was able to reach the promised land. Oh, also, yeah, at this point, Udonis Haslem wasn't 47 years old, so I guess they had 2 young guys. Beyond 2006, well, the legacy of these 2 teams, these 2 superstars, it gets pretty crazy. Something about a press conference announcing how many championships would be won, I'm not sure, it's all a fog. All I know is we certainly don't have time in this video to unpack the full LeBron James, Dwyane Wade story, but it was absolutely clear from even a very early point in their careers that these 2 hoopers were going to be nothing short of iconic. For each game covered here on Basketball Cinema, I'll be giving out 3 awards, beginning with the Clint Hawkeye Barton Award for Most Underrated Performer.
I don't care.
Which goes to Damon Jones. Damon Jones had a very relevant career with regards to this video. Here's the ultra quick synopsis. In 2005, he had his best season of his career playing with the Heat. At one point, he got absolutely destroyed by a masked LeBron dunk, and in 2006, he signed with Cleveland to play alongside LeBron for 3 seasons. He became super tight with LeBron off the court, and eventually returned to Cleveland as an assistant coach. Also, he had 12 points off 4 made threes in this game, so there you go. The Rick Dalton Award for Most Recognizable Moment goes to this wild layup from Dwyane Wade.
40 plus. Wade got the corner turn. It's gonna drop. And Zagrunas fouled him.
I expressed my awe over the finish earlier, but why it made me Rick Dalton point was that I believe this exact layup was used in NBA 2K11 for the Dwyane Wade layup package. I mean, watch this footage and tell me one of these finishes isn't identical to the one we saw in this game. And finally, the Mark Jackson
With all due respect.
Award for Weirdest weirdest moment in this game goes to this guy, Randy Moss. Yeah, the future Hall of Famer in the NFL was taking in the game courtside for a good cause actually, as he'd brought 80 kids to the game from his foundation. That's super cool, Randy. Unfortunately for our guy, he was heading into his second season with Oakland, a season which would end up being an absolute train wreck. And you could tell that he wasn't all that pumped about his new QB, Aaron Brooks.
Man, I'm just happy to just play football, man. The Oakland Raiders made a move, and whatever they make, that's what I got to deal with. So I'm just ready to play some ball.
Don't worry, Randy. You're 17 months away from playing with Tom Brady. You'll be all right. And that's it. The Cleveland Cavaliers beat the Miami Heat 106-99 on April 1st, 2006. More importantly though, LeBron James narrowly outscored Dwyane Wade 47-44. Although jokes on LeBron, I suppose, because the Heat won the title in 2006. If you enjoyed this episode of the show, please consider dropping a like down below, and if you can see yourself watching a few more of these, or a lot more, I'd suggest hitting that subscribe button as well. Also, leave me a comment down below on literally anything from this video. It all helps the YouTube algorithm. Next week, we'll be taking a look at the brightest individual moment from one of the greatest players who unfortunately never won a ring. But until then, I'm Jay Canada, and this has been Basketball Cinema. Both were on a mission to bring relevant. Fourth quarter spoiler alert. This is where the game really went crazy. As well, some injury prone. Dwyane Wade is also. D Wade decided to fill it up to. With one half down, LeBron and Wade were doing a. Wow. Zadrunas Ilgauskas, son of. Oh, by the West.